My name is Ruth Taylor. I am the owner and founder of Save a Soul 365, and we are here to have a panel discussion. To my right, I have...
My name is Eva Inez, and I am an author of a Christian-based children's book and another book that I just recently published. I am also a minister at my church, and I am excited to be here.
And to my left, I have...
Sebastian or Imperial, either one. I'm a photographer by profession, and that's pretty much it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's
I
it.
told you no quick response. And here we are going to tackle on the question, or the topic is, would you allow your underage child to live a homosexual lifestyle? So chime in, give us questions, comment below. So I'll start with Sebastian. Would you? And I believe both don't have no kids, right?
No.
So I'm only the real mommy here, but it's okay. So I'm going to allow them to tackle it anyways. Okay. So Sebastian, would you allow your underage child to live a homosexual lifestyle?
No, ma'am.
No?
I would not allow it. Not at all. Not in my house. Several reasons why.
Don't answer the why yet.
Okay.
Eva.
My response was going to be no.
No as well?
Yes. And
don't respond yet. Let's see. Would you guys that's on allow your underage child to live a homosexual lifestyle? You able to see the comments?
yeah, no, not comments yet.
I think it's a little slow.
Yeah.
It delays a little bit. All right, so while we wait for you guys to answer us, would you allow your underage child to live a homosexual lifestyle? Eva's going to explain why not.
Okay. Well, from my understanding, I would not allow it because, based off my own beliefs, I believe that, I'm going to use the Bible as an example to say that being a homosexual is a sin. But again, I don't want to impose that it's one of the worst sins out there because there's no greater sin than another sin. Being a homosexual is equal to being someone who's a murderer, to someone who just lied, someone who is jealous of another person. But for myself, I believe that if I were a parent, I would want to govern my own household and raise a child up in a way that, is faithful to the Lord. And so for my response, it would be no for that matter.
So why do you say no, Sebastian?
Okay, my no is just strictly based off of pretty much the world today. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people who are hurt just because of who they are, and I see a lot of parents that are kind of like embracing, their child cross-dressing, before they even hit puberty and things of that nature. And it's just like you can't really make those types of decisions for yourself at that age. You really can't, because you don't understand the magnitude of those decisions at that age. You may feel that way, but as far as declaring that you're going to live that lifestyle under, the age where you even understand anything in life, period, that's... Right. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I just wouldn't allow it. I mean, you can hate me. I could be the worst parent ever.
That's true.
I'm really just trying to save you from yourself at that point.
Right. Well, that kind of jumped to 3. My question 3 would have been, why do you think you should interfere with what they like? Sebastian explained why, because they don't understand. So she thinks. Why would you interfere with that?
I think likewise I would agree with what Sebastian has to say, because for myself, going back to when I was a child, I don't think I would be able to make decisions, that I would agree with now, because looking back at simple stuff like what I used to wear or who I used to hang out with, as an adult I wouldn't make those decisions, and to just jump into something as quick as not even a homosexual lifestyle, but even being in a relationship at that age. I don't think mentality-wise you're not just there yet. And so I would have to agree with Sebastian that, at a young age, it's very imperative the decisions you make and to, go ahead and decide this is the lifestyle that I want to live at this age. I just don't think that you're developed yet in the mindset to really accept what comes along with choosing a particular lifestyle.
What do you guys consider a homosexual lifestyle? Is it just girl liking girl, boy liking boy? What is a homosexual lifestyle? Eva?
For me, I would say a homosexual lifestyle is being attracted to the same gender. And I kind of want to say as well as, a way in which you present yourself. However, I don't think that applies to everyone, because for myself, I kind of grew up dressing not as how I'm dressed today, because I still wore like guy clothes, very laid back. But I think there's an extent to what persons present themselves as that could come off as being gay or lesbian or trans, whatever. But I would say just for the most part, just liking the same sex.
What is a homosexual lifestyle?
Yeah, pretty much what it sounds like.
What is homosexual? Because we could think gay or we could think lesbian. So if the person is not attracted to the same person, but I wear a skirt as a male, would you consider that a homosexual lifestyle?
No, that's clothing.
I think that's dumb.
I mean, that's
just dumb.
That's clothing. You got to remember that clothing is cultural. There are some cultures where there are no pants. So,
even for men?
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
You got to look at like indigenous people. They wear wraps, So it's kind of like clothes do not define who you are as an individual. So like as far as, but I mean nowadays, with all the influencing going on via social media, your child may say, I do live this homosexual lifestyle, when really they're only modeling after what they've seen. So a homosexual lifestyle is you being attracted to the same sex, clear cut and dry. It has nothing to do with clothes or anything other than that. And it used to be just homosexual. Now there's like pansexual and omnisexual, and I don't even understand any of that.
I've never heard of that.
There's like a whole entire
never heard
world.
Of that.
There is an entire world of
different
orientations now that I know not too much about outside of what they're called. I mean, I don't see that there's two sexes. You either like the opposite sex or the same sex.
I agree. I know there's a question they're asking. Can you read it to us, please? Yeah, I didn't see my register agent over there, but she's in the background.
Okay.
Are all those questions?
Yeah. Yes.
What age group?
You want me to read it? Sure. Okay, so the first question is, so if your 16-year-old comes to you and says he or she likes the same sex, how would you handle that? So they're under the age of 18.
Anybody? That's a good one. If your 16-year-old come to us and say they like the same sex, I guess that falls into our not so much of dismissing them, not so much of judging him or her, but I would definitely no.
I mean, no. I was actually agreeing with you, not dismissing what they say that they're feeling, never dismissing it.
Yes.
Of course, addressing it, and more so just explaining it. They can see a lot of what's going on in the world. So I feel like if you give it to them from a raw standpoint, not social media with filters and Snapchat, but if you give it to them from a raw standpoint, like, hey, if you make these decisions, this is what could come with it. I'm just letting you know. I feel like nowadays you kind of have to. Like, that's how my parents did me. They sugarcoated nothing. We didn't get the birds and the bees talk. It was, if you do this or this is going to happen. So, I mean, you really just can't sugarcoat it, in my opinion.
I agree, and like I said, no judgment. Don't bash them. Don't throw them away. Don't go throwing holy water. For us, very religious folks, it's more so sitting down, communicating, figuring out why or what makes them feel that way, or what makes them think that they, like the same sex.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, next question. Let me see. We have quite a few questions. I'm trying to see.
Wow, we missed a lot. Why didn't you tell us that?
Somebody asked, what is our sexual orientations?
Us?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hetero.
Likewise.
I think it's pretty clear for me.
What is clear?
I guess what society would describe as a lesbian. Attracted to females.
Okay, so that was another question. At what age would the parent accept their child's lifestyle?
21, 25. Let them go through school.
Can I?
No,
honestly,
I'm kidding.
I don't think there is ever going to be I think that question you can't really answer. It depends on the family, because sometimes people don't really ever accept it. Right. So, they're
That's
okay
true.
with it. They deal with it.
That's
they
true.
tolerate it, but they don't fully accept it, because as a parent, I'm not a parent, but I know, no matter what your sons ever do in life, you're always going to have a love for your sons if you truly love your kids, because there are those parents who would just kick their child out.
That's true.
But I think it just depends on the situation, the family, and how they're able to handle, if they're okay with their child living that lifestyle.
I agree, and that's with any lifestyle.
Yeah. Right.
Because I don't think I would accept my 16-year-old to go out and steal just as much as I would like him to be 30 and steal. But if you happen to be a klepto, I'll pray on it, I'll talk to you about it, but at some point we do have to release it and say, you're old enough to understand, this is what's going to happen, this is what's not going to happen, and allowing them to hit their face. Yep.
So we got a good question here. It says, say if a woman, man, boy, girl has a curiosity to try the same sex, would that consider them gay, lesbian, or bi?
I wouldn't be able to answer what they consider them. But it'll be which one?
Bi-curious. Our background speaker said bi-curious.
But I would think it falls into the homosexual line, because you're dating either the same or you're interested in the same. And of course, at that age, it depends on the age. We're talking about underage. They are confused. They don't know, and it depends on what you listen to, what you watch, and what your friends do is what kind of gets you curiosity. Everything we do is a little seed that was planted into our head. So if they happen to say, hey, I think I'm a girl that like girls, it's something that they're watching or something that was brought into their attention to feel like it's curious. Just like with smoking and drinking, it's something that we see that make us either curious about it or say we're never going to do it. So I don't know. That person would have to tell you what they call themselves. Well, that would sit you because you're scrolling.
Yeah. So a lot of persons are saying that they agree with Sebastian's perspectives. And when we asked the question, would you accept somebody or a child under the age of 18 living a homosexual lifestyle, most are responding by saying no. So that's most of our responses. Let me see. I'm not sure which question this fall under, but it says intercourse or just dressing and behaving as the opposite sex. I think that's when
I think that falls on what do you consider a homosexual lifestyle. I agree, because with that one, I consider nowadays what we dress. Only because it represents some things. If I walk around with a mask and walk in a store, it semi-represents, I'm going to do something bad. I may not do it, but why would I allow myself to walk into there to get, that's some type of attention. So if I am, especially in America, a male wearing a skirt, I'm automatically going to look like a homosexual or look like, I'm looking for a guy. And if I'm a girl dressed a certain way, like Sebastian said, it's obvious, but your answer wasn't obvious. I honestly thought you was going to say yes. So the answer was, but correct. That's why I said, so we can't really say, oh my goodness. So for me, I wouldn't let my son say, Mom, I'm going to walk around with a purse because it's easier to carry because the wallet's too heavy. No way, son, because you know what you're going to look like? It's going to look as if